West. Welcome to the Damu Kiwe conversation. Voice of the West Coast. Voice of the culture. It's Duse M, the dime. Salute to all my good people in the chat. Already hit that like button. We just got a little thing. Damn, I didn't even open up the damn Clubhouse room. My bad, Ghost. But it's cool because I got a Instagram didn't close, so I got to redo the Instagram. Hit that like button on y'all way in, man. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Hit that like button. All right, bam. We got Duse M runs a drill on CS2 back, so I gotta remake a whole new IG link. You know what I'm saying? Okay, boom. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. I know y'all like, damn, this Duse M, he grinding. Y'all at least y'all could do is hit the like button. Okay, remove from Instagram. Boom, hit that like button. Oh, we finna flame CS2 back up. Y'all love this one. You know what I'm saying? Oh, y'all love this one. Believe that. Y'all gonna love this one. Okay, boom. So we got that. All right. So now we finna go on IG. Damn, it's not oh, I'm sorry. Hit that like button. Salute. All right. So we could close that. Go to IG. Put the stream key in. I told everybody turn them notifications on. So if they miss it, I ain't gonna make y'all wait. We gonna get to it. I'm just making sure that we live on IG. Y'all gotta remember, I got a lot of followers on IG. Well, not a lot, like, you know, super famous people, you know what I'm saying? But I got more followers there than I do even on my YouTube, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody that follow me on IG. You know what I'm saying? Big T, what's up, bro? You know what I'm saying? So we is streaming now. We are officially streaming on we are officially streaming on YouTube right now. Let me go ahead and put YouTube or Twitch. They should know they could go to Active Chucks. You know what I'm saying? Park Baby, what's up, homegirl? Blue Benji, what up? Salute. You know what I'm saying? So we finna get into the content. Wack been telling since he walked the side FR getting treated for snitching. He was getting treated on fire. Let's get it. Muddy Waters, what up, bro? The Union, here we go. We got the bunting. We keeping tabs on your promptness, sir. Deuce, the Union on me because I was a little late, but it's all right. Rat All Stars, the telethon. Nasty work. Yes, nasty work. You working on 5 minutes here, sir? Yeah, I had to use the restroom. I'm sorry. Damn, Muddy, you putting our partner to work. Like, yeah, I'm going to watch reruns of Dose of Reality. Deuce outside on the grill. No, I wasn't. Deuce outside hitting his brimming on the T-bone steak. No. Salute to the chat, Miles. Deuce M, Jerry Griffin, what up? Ed Bell, what up? West, salute to Deuce M, the Don, free to Big OG. Salute, Big OG you. Salute from the 318 Sweetport, Louisiana. Keep dropping. Slime Ball TV is in here looking with his looking ass. You been grinding, Slime Ball. We ain't been seeing you. That means you been getting to a bag somewhere. Showtime. Salute, gang. Slime Ball been dropping good content. I've been watching, catching them late. Hey, man, I appreciate the compliment, man. Ben I am Araya, 804 checking in. Salute, dude. Salute to the 804. Wait, ain't 804 like VA? Where's the 804? Just to make sure I'm correct. Solidata Maria, right, Hearts, Marie Hearts, and then I think that's an award, Heart Award. Okay. So we finna get to the beginning content. We gonna get to the content. We gonna get to the content. You know what I'm saying? So we all know CS2 back is the title tale. You know what I'm saying? You finish how you start how you finish. And he been started telling, even when he got his wife, you know what I'm saying? Well, soon to be ex-wife, if that ain't even finalized yet. Let's get to this. You know what I'm saying? Because this is very telling. Let's get to this real quick.
The move. When I found out that, I said, oh, yeah, it's on. But see, I know Kim.
Yeah.
You know, Kim's a square girl. She's like, that's my boyfriend, and we're friends. So I had to have the shit. Man, that nigga took me by that girl house. I said, who is this? Oh, this my little thing over here. You know, she fucking. That right? Yeah, all right. Sat back, nigga. Pulled my little pen and paper out, wrote down my note. What's your name? You address. I said, Kim, listen, I hung out with the nigga all weekend. His friend's name is this. She like, you know, oh, what are you doing hanging out with him? Right? I said, I had to find out if he was the best man for you, and he ain't. He cheating on you, and I know the girl, which I told everything. So did. Told it all, nigga. And from that, I got 2 healthy, beautiful children. I didn't have a great life, nigga. So I don't give a fuck. So then I see.
So he admit, that was when he was upset we was running the thing about his divorce with Kim, you know what I'm saying? Damn, where's the I don't even see the banner on. Hold on, let me turn the banner on. Man. We tripping up in here, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm at we ain't got the active Chuck thing already. The least we can do is have a cash app. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is Richmond, VA. I knew it was VA. Well, I didn't know. I was quite sure it was VA. You know what I'm saying? La Monte, you keep popping in blood on payroll. Meet me at 6878 Beck Avenue. You going to bleed blood? Nah. He don't got 6878 Beck Avenue no more. And that nigga ain't trying to meet me nowhere. Salute Big Duse in the chat. Salute West. Shout out to Spirit Wonder. What's up? Shout out to the Damu Kiwe conversation in the whole chat. Miss Lisa, greetings, cooking and baking, but listening. Appreciate this. Y'all tuning in. Hit the like button. We finna flame them up. You finally showed up, slow man. Well, you know what they say, slow progression better than no progression. The whole thing is we're making progression. So he been telling since he was 12. Listen, man, he's been telling it's just in him. You know what I'm saying? You know how niggas be like, the ism is in him or the gangsterism just in him. That's who he is. That's just who he is. You know what I'm saying? So he been telling. But on another note, let's get to this real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to this real quick. All right, so we're going to rewind this. Boom, here we go. Oh, y'all can't even see it. There it go. Boom. Let's go.
And one thing we understand about the feds is that if you want any favor from them, give them a body.
Dirty body. Give them a body.
I don't believe personally, I could be wrong, that he... And one thing we understand about the feds is that if you want any favor from them, give them a body. You gotta come with them body. I don't believe.
If you want any favor from the feds, you know what I'm saying? You gotta give them a body. You know what I'm saying? I've been to the feds. I never knew that the rats had to give them a body. You know what I'm saying? I'm quite sure I knew that rats have given them bodies, but I know that rats come in all shapes, forms. They tell about all kind of different things. Drug deals, line you up. I didn't know that for the feds, and you know what they say, to know is to experience, right? So in his experience, he already knew that to get a favor from the feds, you had to give them a body. Hit that like button. We finna cook. So if to know is to experience, how did he know that? Because he done gave them a body before. And that's who he's working with, the feds. He's very particular in that statement. So we finna get into this real quick. The content is gonna content. We finna flame CS2 back up. It's been a minute, but I ain't lost it. So you can best believe we finna flame his ass up. Let's go.
Y'all don't run it in the street. The feds run this shit.
Damn.
Law enforcement run this shit.
Law enforcement.
Welcome back to Scandalous Los Angeles TV, where we expose the exposers. Reggie and John over at Bomb first brought CS2 back onto their YouTube channel yesterday, giving viewers the chance to ask whatever questions they wanted. Man, Porky really did himself a disservice this time. He told so many lies on Reggie's panel, I decided to break them down in segments instead of doing one long video. Today's segment is going to expose just how much of a liar CS2 back is. With everything that happened with Big U, it's impossible to ignore the hidden role Porky played in getting people to implicate Big U and themselves in multiple crimes. We already know Porky's been working, which is why today we're going back to CS2 back. Now Porky is admitting that the CS2 back paperwork is authentic. This comes after Duse pointed out that Officer Greg Kading never claimed the paperwork was fake. Because of that, Porky decided to abandon his lie about Duse making fake work and adding back to it. Instead, he created a new lie and put it together with his original lie. The new lie is that Duse made fake work and put his real name, Cash Jones, in it, and he merged that with his original lie, which was that CS2 back was just a low-level drug dealer and that he himself doesn't sell drugs. The problem with Porky's original lie is that the paperwork doesn't say anything about CS2 back being a low-level drug dealer. The only reason Porky is lying like this is to cover up the fact that he's actually CS2 back, the federal informant.
Man, I remember you, man. Reggie Wright and Wack100, can you please explain to the goofballs the Dill Dog case was a state case, not federal? Correct.
Dill Dog was a state case
Yes.
involving all main streets.
The reason Porky emphasizes all main streets, the way he just did, is because he's trying to distance himself from the speculation.
In the chat.
Porky wants people to believe that only main streets were involved in this case. And by making it clear that he wasn't directly from Main Street, he's attempting to convince people that he couldn't have been involved. A typical tactic of Porky's used to deflect attention and create a narrative that separates him from any direct ties.
Yes.
Right? Some other shit they threw me in that I was never arrested, never had nothing to do with. One Main Street took the stand on 7 or 8 Main Streets. All you got to do is go pull the work up.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a state case held in CCB court. Well, I'm going to keep it real. Dude, when it took the stand in front of the whole LA, the whole court was streetmen and Muslims, dude walked in that motherfucker, took the stand in front of everybody for about 4 or 5 months and walked out and jumped in his Rolls Royce and drove off.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
I remember Captain Will. You know Captain Will, FOI.
Yeah.
Brother Will.
Yeah.
Brother Will called me and was like, yo, Wack, can you talk to him? I said, bro, talk to him about what? He's fully aware of what he's doing. He's doing it in front of y'all.
Yeah.
What you want me to tell you?
Could you explain his relationship? I know the answer to this, but a lot of people get him mixed up and calls him Farrakhan's nephew. Could you explain their relationship?
That is Farrakhan's nephew. That's not a lie.
That's by the sister, right? I know. I'm saying I know it. I'm just want you.
No, his his dad's, his father's sister.
Yeah, something about a sister I know. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, his father's sister is Farrakhan's wife. That's not a lie. That's true.
I live in Los Angeles, so you asking me to he told you, I'll get you and your boyfriend on the phone. You know who I call your boyfriend. And we'll call him. And he said he'll get you on the phone with Mark Stevens.
You gotta give Reggie an E for effort, because he sure acts like he's protecting Porky. Reggie and Porky both know we don't have to get on the phone with Mark Stevens or Stutterbox. We have all heard both of their testimonies, and both of them said Porky was CS2 back. I want you guys to listen close to what Porky says next, because he completely switches the narrative that he was running before, which is more proof that he is indeed CS2 back.
Now,
And Mark Stevens.
This is the thing, right? This is the thing. If you go read the real paperwork, not the fake shit dude made. He made a fake document where he started putting my real name in it. He made a fake document where he started putting my real name in it. He made a fake document where he started putting my real name in it. If you read it, it says CS2 back. If you read it, it says CS2 back.
Do you guys understand what just happened? Porky just told me that I need to go read the real paperwork, not the fake one that Duse allegedly made. Porky claimed that Duse created some fake paperwork and put his real name, Cash Jones, in it. But here's where it gets interesting. Porky then starts telling me what the real paperwork says. He says, it says CS2 back. This is Porky, in front of the entire world, admitting that the CS2 back paperwork is authentic, just like Greg Kading said it was. But that's not even the funny part. The real kicker is that after we released the audio of Greg Kading saying Porky was back, Porky accused Duse of making fake paperwork. However, when he said this, he didn't mention Duse putting his real name in it. Instead, he claimed Duse created fake paperwork and just added back to it.
He's winning credit, some fake work, and add some back shit. You don't see that user.
So first, I created some fake work. And then I added his name to it. Cash McElroy Jones, Cash Jones. That was the first thing. Then he flips the script and forgets about it at another time and says, these niggas then created some fake work and added the back shit. But if you pay attention, you see I put it up here where he says the real paperwork says CS2 back. Wack admits that the real paperwork on the wiretap says CS2 back. Now here he is saying that I added his name, Cash Jones, to the paperwork, but the real paperwork says CS2 back. Then he comes back and said, I added some back shit to the paperwork. I'm done talking about it. Very, very interested. CS2 back, standing for confidential source 2 back. And we're going to get to it, because if he's admitting that the real paperwork says CS2 back on that wiretap, then we're finna have Detective Greg Kading, the same non-credible, dirty pig Greg Kading that was later fired. Oh, we'll get into that also. You know what I'm saying? For messing with, tampering with evidence or something he did. But we'll play the clip and the news people will talk about that disgraced LAPD officer who was a deputized federal agent. This is the same one Wack100 brought. And he will say, well, I'm sure Wack will admit that that's Wack100 on that wiretap. Well, if the real paperwork says CS2 back, and Greg Kading is admitting and saying that he's sure Wack will admit that that's him on the wiretap, then we know who CS2 back is. It's real simple. But we're going to watch this, and then I'm going to go to Greg Kading.
Oh, so I'm done talking about this shit. He's winning credit, some fake work, and add some back shit. You don't see that, use a bowl, so I'm done talking about this shit. But this is what's retarded. If you gonna add something, why wouldn't you just put my real name? If you gonna add some shit and you want to make it believable, just put my real name. Why the fuck would you put something in there that say it sounds like your real name? Like, this is crazy. Dude said, actually, we got the clip. He said, I went and pulled the paperwork myself. Same docket number right here. There is no fucking clause in there with a CS2 back mention. You added that to your paperwork.
Now, fast forward to today. Porky is openly admitting that the real, authentic paperwork actually says CS2 back, which directly contradicts his earlier claims that Duse added back to it. So now, on Reggie's panel, Porky has completely changed his story, essentially repackaging his lie, which only helps to expose him even further. The contradictions are piling up, and it's becoming clear that Porky can't keep his story straight.
If you read it, it says CS2 back is a low-level drug dealer who's in fear that if found out, his family will be harmed by the main streets.
He said, if you read the real paperwork, it says CS2 back was a low-level drug dealer, right? Which it doesn't say that he was a low-level drug dealer. But he's saying that the real paperwork has CS2 back on it. So how did Duse M add CS2 back to the real paperwork, bro? How did I add that to it? This is nasty work, bro.
See, these are the things they leave out about this CS2 back dude, right? He went and created some fake work and add some back shit. Read it, it says CS2 back is a low-level drug dealer who's in fear that if found out, his family will be harmed by the main streets. See, these are the things they leave out about this CS2 back dude, right? There is no fucking clause in there with a CS2 back mention.
So
you added that to your paperwork.
So I added Duse M's, added that. Everybody hit the motherfucking like button, nigga. We finna flame this rat ass nigga up, right? So Duse M's then added CS2 back to the paperwork. This is what he told these slow ass niggas on Clubhouse. And then here he say now that it says CS2 back was a low-level drug dealer in the real paperwork. So I couldn't have added it to the real paperwork, right? Because I'm not a federal agent. I didn't know nothing about Money Mark Stevens back then. I didn't know nothing about Stutterbox. Well, I did hear Stutterbox's name back then, but I never met him or knew too much about him. I heard of Del Dog back then. You from LA, you heard of Del Dog. I didn't hear, I never met Del Dog. So he said, fuck the paperwork. Mark Stevens said he was CS2 back. What the fuck? No. You can't say fuck the paperwork, G-Mac, because we go by the work. Now, what Mark Stevens says corroborates the paperwork. When we read the paperwork, it's clear that whoever called Mark Stevens trying to get him to three-way Del Dog because Stutterbox had went sour and because the phones was tapped was CS2 back. Mark Stevens confirmed that that's who called him, and that was the conversation. So we can't say fuck the paperwork. The niggas on paperwork, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yaya's kids, salute Deuce the Don, Active Chuck, salute, man. Appreciate that. I talked to dog. Yo, Deuce, is CS2 back connected to Lara Cohen, who's the global chairman of music and head of YouTube? Lara Cohen was the last I checked. But I ain't checked in some months, but that's who it was. But let's get back to it. We cooking Porky today.
I really hope you guys can see what's going on here. If you didn't believe Porky was CS2 back before, I hope you believe it now. Initially, Porky claimed that there was no clause in the paperwork mentioning CS2 back, and that Duse was the one who added that detail. But now, Porky is contradicting himself, saying that the CS2 back paperwork is legit, and that it clearly states CS2 back was a low-level drug dealer. This should be enough to prove to the entire world that the CS2 back paperwork is real, and that Porky the Pyru is, in fact, CS2 back. Porky even told me directly to go read the paperwork, and I'd see that it says CS2 back was a low-level drug dealer. Now I'm just going to tell you all right now. The paperwork does not say that. Porky is lying again. He's a master at spinning stories, but the truth is clear. He's caught in his own web of lies.
I ain't never had a dope case in my life.
Yeah.
And if I was a dope dealer, best believe I wouldn't have been a low-level dope dealer. And best believe I don't have no family that I got to worry about that live in the main streets. I'm not from Main Street. My neighborhood is probably about 18 miles from Main Street. 18 to 20 good miles. So if you go read it, but again, you probably a dude from Scandinavia or something who don't understand what you're reading. You got to tell yourself, well, it gives a description of who this dude is and what he does in the streets. Does it fit my description?
Yeah.
Porky knows I'm not from Scandinavia. If I was, his empty spin attempts might actually work. So what I do next is I send Porky a $10,000 challenge, asking him to provide proof before all of Reggie's viewers that the paperwork said CS2 back was a low-level drug dealer. You see, these are the uninterrupted lies Porky has been on Clubhouse telling for years. This is the reason he blocked Duse on Clubhouse. Porky knows the kind of holes Duse would poke through his lies. So he avoids him like the bubonic plague.
All right, Scandalous, this is your Reggie. Tell him I challenge him to $10,000 right now. You have to show it and put it in escrow. Everybody always talking about money, but you put it in escrow. And he said, I'll challenge right now on this live show us where is a CS2 was a low-level drug dealer. Ask him that, Reggie. Okay.
Bro, this what he got to do, bro. Because the other Duse M's created a whole fake document where all of a sudden it said Cash Jones. Like, it was crazy.
Okay.
But this is what's retarded. If you gonna add something, why wouldn't you just put my real name?
That's why you said the real one when you said it.
All you got to do is go pull it up under Liddell Rawls. That's Dale Dog name.
Okay.
Pull that document up under that paperwork, then read it. Fuck with this bullshit they got. You go pull up Liddell Rawls, right? And then read it.
We gonna get into some of these what you call it. I just read one page of the paperwork. I'm gonna read 2 more pages because Scandalous challenged them. Black Caesar, salute. And Reggie read it, $10,000 bet that Wack100 can't go through the paperwork and show him where it says that CS2 back was a low-level drug dealer and a Main Street Crip. See, this is right here is why Scandalous was tricking that, we already tricked him out of 2,000. Scandalous trying to trick him out of 10. You know what I'm saying?
He wants the bag.
Yeah, Scandalous, he tried to bait the niggas so bad. Well, he know he CS2 back. So he know the Scandalous was too sure of himself. He was too cocky, right? So
Correct.
Reggie read it, Wack listening, and it says CS2 back. See, what Wack is reading, you see this stuff that's crossed out? Huh?
No, I'm listening to you dudes. You said, repeat that one more time for me.
Look at the thing at the screen. You see the paperwork that's crossed out, the part.
Yeah, with the line at the top in the right hand. Well, it'll be my right top corner with the X going. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, right. So right there, if I blow it all the way up, y'all should be able. No, that's as much as it go. It says CI2, confidential informant 2.
Wow.
Right. And that's the low-level purchaser of crack cocaine, et cetera, right? You got a CI2, and then you got a CS2. So with his dumb ass can't read no paperwork, you know, you gang goofy from when he was horny for content. You know what I'm saying? You know the nigga don't know how to read no work.
What really happened here is that Porky was spinning. He knows the difference between CS2 and CI2, and he saw that the entire section for CI2 was blacked out with a marker. So why would Porky read the crossed out section, but completely miss the paragraph underneath it? That just happens to be about CS2 back. But hey, it's all out in the open now. We're going to go through that paperwork, just like Porky told us to. And it's crazy, because every time we do exactly what Porky says, all we find are more lies from him. And the blame just keeps landing squarely on his shoulders. The truth is coming to light, and Porky's attempts to spin the story only make his lies more obvious.
So we thought we had one. You know what I'm saying? Scanners try to bamboozle the nigga. The nigga talking about CS2 back was a low-level drug dealer and this and this and this and that, right? No, that's CI2 back. Right?
Right. I'm listening. Yeah.
So CS2 has provided reliable historical information concerning the Main Street Mafia Crip organization. In the history of Main Street, so shout out to the Main Streets. So let's get that by, because I got some other clips where Wack is saying, hey, let's talk about Back. Back never told. He never told that. Oh, they don't talk about that on the other side of Clubhouse. No, they don't talk about Back. Never told. Who he told on? He told on the main historical, reliable historical information. Let's go. They got a lot of legendary niggas over there that was getting to that bag. Richie Rich, all kind of dudes, right? Dale Dog is one of the most known Main Street Mafia Crips that ever done it in South Central LA. The rats called right? Just the accomplishments he made coming up off the east side of South Central LA with his whole crew on. Nigga ain't on till my whole crew on. Nigga, he did that. But anyway, CS2 has provided reliable historical information concerning Main Street Mafia Crip organization. Good luck to Wack talking about he didn't never snitch on nobody. However, CS2 is only aware of certain aspects regarding the organization's criminal activities and narcotic distribution network. CS2 has no knowledge or information regarding the methods in which narcotics are being transported to the Los Angeles area and distributed to Main Street Mafia Crip gang members. Additionally, CS2 is unable to provide information regarding the narcotic customers, flow of narcotic proceeds, and methods that they are using to laundering their narcotic proceeds. CS2 is only able to identify a limited number of Main Street Mafia Crip gang members. Why would you say that it says CS2 back is a low-level drug dealer for Main Street Crip when it makes it clear with this definition he's only able to identify a limited number of Main Street Mafia Crip gang members? How you from Main Street, but you can't identify but a few Main Street Mafia Crip members? The nigga ain't from Main Street. That was one of the clues, you goofy ass nigga. Goofologist 101, nigga. CS2 is unable to provide specific information regarding the organization's extortion activities, methods of monetary collections and distribution of proceeds. CS2 is also unable to provide any information regarding the Main Street Mafia Crip organization. And we got one more page. So look, so with other leaders of the other large gang organizations. CS2 is able to provide limited information regarding violent assaults committed by Main Street Mafia Crips, including shootings, burglaries, and murders. CS2 is unwilling to testify in court against members of the Main Street Mafia Crip because CS2 is fearful of retaliation against CS2 and or CS2's family. CS2 believes that if any member of the Main Street Mafia Crip criminal organization becomes aware of CS2's cooperation with law enforcement, the organization will likely orchestrate the execution of CS2.
Porky tried to create this narrative that CS2 back was a Main Street Crip, but we've just found out that was a lie. He also tried to push the idea that he wouldn't have to worry about his family being harmed by anyone, because they don't live on Main Street. But the paperwork tells a completely different story. It clearly states that CS2 back refused to testify, because if anyone from Main Street found out he was working, they'd quickly arrange for his execution. What's more, CS2 back specifically mentioned that if anyone from Main Street found out, and he just so happened to live right across the street from Stutterbox, who was from Main Street, he'd be in serious trouble. Porky was afraid that if Stutterbox found out, he'd either come kill him, or he'd expose where Porky and his wife were living, putting them both in danger.
So, does it say anywhere in about CS2, did y'all see anything that said something about a low-level drug dealer about CS2, not CI2, CS2? Anything about a low-level drug dealer, or just this declaration that this confidential source is a Main Street Mafia Crip member? No. In fact, everything in there seems to indicate that he has limited information about who the Main Streets is, how the insides of how they're laundering their money, where their dope is delivered, but he was able to give them a limited amount.
You can't give me an AKA. I ain't never been a pack.
All right, let me see what we got, man. Hold on. So, shout out Skinless Los Angeles TV, man. The GOAT, man. He ain't playing no games. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button if you just came in. So, there you got this weirdo talking about he not CS2 back, because CS2 back is from Main Street, but we just gave you clues and everything and all of that. Now, mind you, this is after all of the other lies, the switching of his defensive position. This nigga got more defensive than the California Bar Association, nigga. This nigga is crazy. So he ends up bringing Greg Kading to the app. So I had exposed that the wiretap paperwork on Clubhouse, you know what I'm saying? Within 10 minutes, 10, this man went and got a deputized federal agent, Greg Kading, and another ex-Compton police officer, 137 confidential source, Reggie Wright Jr., to come on the app and with this other officer to vouch that he wasn't working with Greg Kading and Darren Dupree. I don't know how the police can validate to some street niggas that you're not working with the police.
We got Reggie Wright, top right. Reggie Wright contacted Greg Kading. Greg Kading was the lead investigator. I'm probably saying this shit wrong. He'll tell you more on that case. To where, well, fuck it, Greg. Tell them who you are.
That's funny. So yeah, I was a cop in LA. I ended up working on
Even he knew it was bullshit. So he
murder
started laughing.
investigations back in the 2000s, and then I left and wrote a book about it called Murder Rap. So yeah, I had an opportunity to kind of like dive deep into all of the different theories and accusations and ideas behind what had happened with both Pac and Big, and that's it.
All right, so Greg, Reggie sent you a document, and I'm looking at that and looking at the names. MS, I'm identifying that as Mark Stevens. DD, I know is Dale Dog, and they got a name on there called Back, BACK, and it has some shit. Let me pull this shit up so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Back, and it has some shit says CS2. Now, can you tell the people what my position of in this case? How did Cash Jones, Wack100, how did I get involved or implemented in this case with the guy with the other box?
Okay. So it all started when there was an FBI agent who told us that he had an informant that could potentially give us some information about Suge Knight that may help us further our investigation into the murders of Tupac and Biggie. That's where it all started. And so we went and met with this informant, and it turned out to be Box. And we sat down. It was like on Melrose or Santa Monica, and he pulled up in his Bentley, and we sat down at a Starbucks and started chopping up, and he gave us this information that led to you. And so we didn't know.
Hey, Immortal, that's why Greg was laughing, because Wack lied trying to introduce him as the lead detective in the Main Street case, which he wasn't. He was an overseer, and we got him admitting that. It was the sheriffs on the Joint Task Force, Detective Michael Coet and Paul Fournier. Paul Fournier was the lead detective, and his partner was Detective Michael Coet. But you 100% right, bro. He know damn well he wasn't no lead investigator on that Main Street case. That's why he started laughing and
What was real.
What the hell was the information that led to me?
Well, the information was that if we looked into you, we might find some things out that would help us maybe get some leverage on Suge. So it was just like that. And so we're like, all right, we didn't know any better. We're like, well, the FBI says this guy, is worth listening to.
So the guy we talking about that we're listening to is Stutterbox.
Right.
So Greg, before you go any further, how long does a motherfucker gotta be like working with the FBI before they're calling a guy like you that's investigating the case as serious as you have to say he's a reliable source?
Well, Greg, explain to him the different level of informants you have, and that answers the question better.
So there's a CI, which is a confidential informant. There's a CRI, which is a confidential, reliable informant. There's a witness. There's different levels of informants and sources of information. And so as cops, we're just going to listen to everybody. And in time, you prove whether or not they're reliable or not. But you don't just disregard somebody because you haven't proven their reliability. So, I don't know what Box had going on, the whole Main Street thing and all his drama and background going on with that case. I became involved in it later.
I didn't know what Box had going on with the Main Street drama and all of that going on with that case. I became involved with it later. Yeah, he got involved with it later
But at that point in time, they're just saying, hey, you should talk to this guy. He may be able to give you some information that will help with your case. That's it.
Hey, Greg, so could you tell them what level they told you that he was? Was he reliable? Was he a CI? Had he worked in the past for him? Or what if you could tell just a different level that that they represented to you that he was?
Yeah, and to be perfectly honest, I don't remember exactly what the, language was or what the, qualifications were. It was just like, hey, we have this guy says he can help you guys out. We're working with him on something else, and so, give him the time to hear him out, and that's it. I don't remember if they said he was established as reliable.
You portrayed him as a reliable, meaning that he gave reliable information in the past in the movie. This FYI.
Yeah, well, it's a movie, so people do what they're going to do to make these stories more entertaining.
So when Wack tries to send y'all to the book or to the movie, don't be spit like that. Greg Kading, Reggie Wright just says, well, for your information, in the movie, y'all portrayed him as a reliable. And he said, yeah, but that's a movie. We got to do what we got to do to sell entertainment. So you can't even go by the movie. And that's his favorite go-to. Fuck that movie, nigga. Bring the paperwork. You talk to them people, bring the work. Stop letting them spin y'all with that. Let's go.
I'm just telling you that what actually happened.
It was your movie.
Box, hold on, Reggie. When you got with Box tells you that it's this guy that if you look into him, Mike could give you or lead you to him doing some illegal business with Suge Knight. That was his whole thing.
Yes.
And that guy was me.
You're right.
So where did it go from there?
So we said, all right, we'll give this information the benefit of the doubt. And we began to kind of look at you and figure, okay, well, the claim is that they're doing interstate transportation of narcotics. And so we do what we do in order to determine if there's any truth to that. And so we start investigating you. And as you know, it runs its course. We don't find anything incriminating or anything to validate the claims that Box had made. And then
what steps did you take, Greg? Like the things happened to me with my home. Like y'all really fucking looked into me.
Yeah, we did. We looked into you. We wiretapped you and started to track your truck and do everything we could to verify whether or not the information that we were receiving was valid. And ultimately it turned out not to be. We did a search warrant at your house and came up pretty much empty-handed, with the exception of some worn-out old gun that I think belonged to your wife's dad or some shit like that. And but that was it. It was ultimately a fucking waste of time.
All right, so then I then came down to, I believe that's the federal headquarters on fucking Wilson.
Yeah, well, he did, but I want y'all to be careful and pay attention to that, because I'm gonna show y'all where he admits it was more than one gun. So listen to what he imagine: a deputized federal agent, LAPD officer who's deputized as a federal agent who investigated you, coming to Clubhouse 10 minutes after you're being exposed on paperwork as a confidential source on the Main Street case, and you have such a relationship with this cop. Not only does he come on here to lie for you about you being an informant, but he goes even further and lies about what they found, claiming that it was an old gun that was his wife's father or something.
His dad or some shit like that. And ultimately it turned out not to be. We did a search warrant at your house and came up pretty much empty-handed, with the exception of some worn-out old gun that I think belonged to your wife's dad or some shit like that. And but that was it. It was ultimately a fucking waste of time.
Dr.
All right, so then
what up?
I then came down to, I believe that's the federal headquarters on fucking Wilshire. I think my representation at the time might have been Jeff Brody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the story is, when I came down to Wilshire, I came down there to inform and not pick up whatever little items I had, or I don't know what the fuck that was, but I know I had to come down to that Wilshire building, and I came down with my legal, which was Jeff Brody.
I don't know what the fuck that was, to pick up my personal property, or I don't know what the fuck that was. I just know I had to go to federal FBI headquarters on Wilshire on a Sunday. On a Sunday.
No church. No church. No day with the Lord.
No day. Nah, he got the choir cracking on the 64th floor. Let's go.
I guess his whole narrative is, I went to the Wilshire building to inform, which I don't know why I would have to inform, because I was never subject to any arrests or anything like that. So you let them know what my trip down to the Wilshire building entailed.
Yeah, so I remember that day, and you came down there, and we basically just confronted you on the allegations, and explained to you why we were doing what we were doing, giving you the opportunity, with the hopes that you would know something that could help us out. Turned out you really didn't have any information that was beneficial to what we were pursuing.
So you came down. He don't know what he went down there for. So Greg Kading said, well, you came down there. We got you to come down there so we could confront you and hopefully get some information from you. But whatever information you had wasn't helpful to our case. This is what he lying about. But okay, say it wasn't. But it wasn't helpful to your case. But he's obviously giving you information. Let's hear that again.
Press or anything like that. So you let them know what my trip down to the Wilshire building entailed.
Yeah, so I remember that day, and you came down there, and we basically just confronted you on the allegations, and explained to you why we were doing what we were doing,
on the
giving you the opportunity, with the hopes that you would know something that could help us out. Turned out you really didn't have any information that was beneficial to what we were pursuing. That was it. I said, hey, here's why we're here. Here's how we got here. And this is all there ultimately is to it, unless you have something you want to tell us, which was essentially nothing.
All right. And then in your paperwork, I don't know, how was I referred to? Was I referred to Wack, Cass Jones? They have this Back name. I don't know who the fuck Back is. I don't know. I know I've never had that moniker, but I don't know. Maybe it was some coded shit. Or how did you recall referring to me through all the paperwork when you guys were like listening in on my wiretaps? So like saying, okay, this is Wack, this is Cass Jones on the wiretap. What was I referred to in your because I've never looked over that paperwork, never had a need to.
Well, you got a need to now. You need to go get that.
Well, you would have been identified as referred to most likely as like a target. And like your phone would have been target number, or your license plate would have been target whatever. It would have been, clearly understandable to anybody reading it that this has something to do with this car, this phone, this person. We wouldn't have referred to you as an informant because you never were. We would have referred to you as a target or a source of not a source.
Hold on. Did you hear what he just said? We would have referred to you as a target or a source of. Let's run that back real quick. Wack asked what they would have referred to him as. He said a target or a source of. Oh, I can't say it.
Would have been target, whatever. It would have been, clearly understandable to anybody reading it that this has something to do with this car, this phone, this person. We wouldn't have referred to you as an informant because you never were. We would have referred to you as a target or a source of, not a source of information because you weren't even.
Not a source of information because you weren't even that. Hey, let me go ahead and put something up in here real quick, man. We gotta make
reliable. You sound like a reliable source. I ain't too high off the wax, bro, but it sounds like he's gonna say a reliable source.
And caught himself, bro. That is crazy. So nobody else got that?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me go ahead and we finna make a poll. What was Greg Kading finna say? Was Greg Kading about to admit Wack was a source of information? All right, so we're gonna have yes, no. I want to see if I'm tripping. Cause sometimes we can hear what we want to hear. I want to know if I'm tripping, brother. That's all. You know what I'm saying? I want to know if I'm tripping.
Slow back.
One more time. I want everybody active in the chat because the chat's where it's at. What did they refer to me as? Was the question. Cold game.
Would have been target, whatever. It would have been, clearly understandable to anybody reading it that this has something to do with this car, this phone, this person. We wouldn't have referred to you as an informant because you never were. We would have referred to you as a target or a source of, not a source of information because you weren't even that. So, I'm a little vague on it right now because it's been a while, but you would have been most, we would have.
You're vague with information. I'm kind of vague right now.
Hey, bro.
Funny, dog. He was like, source. Damn. I shouldn't have said that. I wasn't supposed to say that. But I'm kind of vague right now.
I'm kind of vague right now. What does Wack owe him now that he is lying for him?
Yo, he done paid. He greased his palms for real.
No, well, that's the reason why he really turned against Stutterbox, because Stutterbox got caught on wiretap saying that he had Greg Kading's partner on the tape, on the wiretap. He said, I got him in my pocket. I got the dirty cop in my pocket talking about Darren Dupree. But Darren Dupree was on this nigga team. Dan, I think he played a major role in every RICO serious case since the early 2000s. I think he started telling within 8 hours the day he was released. Forget labels. His A&R stands for attorneys and rats. I talked to the feds, essentially. Right, bro, the Judge Judy of hip-hop. Damn, that's nasty work. Greg said he came to talk, and he did talk, but like you said, he protected his source. Snitches get paid a nice amount. He kept a rat emoji in his signature. He don't say we outside. He say we in custody. Had to break. Both of them just clarify he's a snitch. Just listen to the selection of words. Okay, I'll be back. I knew I wasn't tripping, bro. Forget NWA. He repping NRW. niggas with ratitudes. Niggas ratitudes. Leaving no stone unturned. Mike B said he just said he didn't have any info that was any good to what they were investigating, which is a lie. But he basically says he did give info facts. He didn't say he lawyered up facts. But it gets even deeper because we finna get to some of the things we know that he talked about and mentioned. They talked about Stutterbox. Remember, he said they told him that Stutterbox gave him up. So they had to ask, was he moving dope with Stutterbox? He don't do drive-by, he do live testimony. Myron, salute. Active Chuck, salute. Mark Ramo, confidential source. Man, that's nasty. Which is a CS. Yeah, we know what a CS is. Confidential source 2 back.
That nigga knew 70s hitters. Rat tail.
Big Market, salute. We got the content. Y'all hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they up in here. Fruit and slip. Wack100, not the voice of the streets, just the voice of the squeaks. That's what they burning his ass up in the chat, bro.
Yo, where's y'all?
Oh man, it probably at work. I'm gonna send the he probably at work. More than one confidential source. Fact. Reliable source. Fake magazine covers. The source presents the hip hop rat advocate of the year. Yeah, hey bro, that's the content tomorrow. I'm gonna get with the whole ETE team, and what we gonna do is the hip hop rat awards, nigga. Infographic meme, nigga. We gonna and y'all all can vote. You know what I'm saying? It'll be live voting for each award. We gonna come up with categories, nigga, and we gonna run the content. Oh man, this gonna be hilarious.
So much content, man.
It's a rat war. Yeah, that's a fact. So anyway, that's enough with hip hop rat awards facts. You know what I'm saying? We got Young Thug. We got a lot of nominees. Gunner. Charleston White. Well, Charleston White ain't really a part of the hip hop culture. You know what I'm saying? And so we gonna get to this, and then we gonna let y'all hear Scandalous catch that nigga Greg Kading in so many lies. So we gonna shake that one. We gonna go to
said Blueface a snitch?
No, I never heard. Oh, I did hear that, but I never got to work, bro.
I ain't trying to put that up.
I did hear that on the essays that robbed them or whatever in Vegas.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that back in the day.
So y'all want to know what happened when Wack went up on the 64th floor? Some of the things he talked about. See, all you gotta do is catch him at different times. And he's liable to tell 100 different stories. You know what I'm saying? Because he can't tell the truth. But you can pick up.
Dude says, well, we still got your client on 2 different situations. He like, is that right? We'll put him on the table. We walking out of here. Right?
Hold on, let me back this up.
First situation, he said, well, we found firearms in the house. He's an ex-convict felon. I'm sitting down, me and my attorney making the left. I make all I ain't off into. So when I get there, it's him and 2 chicks at the table. I sit at the table. What up, box? What you need me for? Oh man, no bitch. Hang out a little bit. 2 women, 2 of my homegirls, this, that, and other. I said, oh, okay. Yeah, how y'all doing? About 5 minutes, he said, I'm finna go to the bathroom. When he go to the bathroom, the chick start popping. She telling me she from New Orleans. She came out here to meet with this nigga. This bitch ass nigga and answer his phone. She come out here every month to buy 5 keys, all this shit, right? So when she talking, I'm looking at the
y'all
bitch,
gotta
right?
remember
bitch
that.
Bad. So
Wack is talking to the FBI agent, bitch. Stutterbox that lined them up. Mind you, Stutterbox then already went to the Joint Task Force and told them, if you want to get Suge, then you got to get his trucker. So they put together a sting, and they put the bad bitch. Have y'all ever seen the movie Greg Kading and them put together? You seen that, fam, West?
Yeah, I seen it.
So you remember the pretty? She looked like she Mexican and black or Puerto Rican or something. The little short
girl from Rock, from the Rock show. Yep.
Okay, her. So she's playing the girl that was supposed to been trying to catch this nigga at Stevie on the strip, right? And he's saying that the broad is telling him about 5 keys and all of that, right? Listen.
When he go to the bathroom, the chick start popping. She telling me she from New Orleans. She came out here to meet with this nigga. This bitch ass nigga answered his phone. She come out here every month to buy 5 keys, all this shit, right? So when she talking, I'm looking at the bitch, right? Bitch bad. So when Box come back, I tell him I gotta go to the bathroom. So I make my way to the bathroom. Instead of making the left, I make a hard right to valet. I get on up out of there.
You chilling with the answer?
Right? When I got to the 60th floor, T-Money, guess who I saw the FBI flak jacket? The bitch.
That's crazy.
Right? So I say, damn, that's the same bitch. So by now my antennas go up like, damn, I'm saying this nigga Box with a fed and don't even know it. This one, I still ain't know what time it is, right? So we get into the conference room. They got like 7, 8 feds, whoever they little leader is, whatever y'all call him. I'm sitting down, me and my attorney going crazy. We filing a lawsuit, harassment. Y'all embarrassed my client. He lives in a gated community. He can't live there anymore. Homeowners Association is filing complaints against him because you guys came the way you came. His neighbors are frowning upon him, all this shit. We playing for the bag, right? So dude says, well, we still got your client on 2 different situations. Like, is that right? We put him on the table. We walking out of here.
But you didn't catch what he said. He said he goes up on the floor. He at the FBI building. Listen, he entered the FBI building, and when he entered the conference room, listen.
Filing the lawsuit, harassment. Y'all embarrassed my client. He lives in a. Hey, damn, that's the same bitch. So by now my antennas go up.
Chilling with the answer.
Right? When I got to the 60th floor, T-Money.
When I got to the 60th floor, remember this is Sunday morning. The FBI building is closed, but he's going here with his lawyer. 2 days after his house was raided. His house was raided on the search warrant was served 2 days before he went and talked to them. So this is after they done raided his house and his truck. Pay attention.
Guess who I saw the FBI flak jacket? The bitch.
That's crazy.
Right? So I say, damn, that's the same bitch. So by now my antennas go up like, damn, I'm saying this nigga Box with a fed and don't even know it. This one, I still ain't know what time it is, right? So we get into the conference room. They got like 7, 8.
The upper conference room on the 60th floor.
He was walking down the hall with them niggas. He was like, hey, damn, man, what kind of flashlight is that?
To even have a conference room, they wanted to be spacious where they could have a lot of comfortable.
They was sitting there with him. Yeah. It was like, okay, look, bro, we got you. Y'all gotta.
That's exactly what they told him. You guessed 100% right. Listen to what he say. They tell him.
They fed whoever they little leader is, whatever y'all call him. I'm sitting down, me and my attorney going crazy. We filing a lawsuit, harassment. Y'all embarrassed my client. He lives in a gated community. He can't live there anymore. Homeowners Association is filing complaints against him because you guys came the way you came. His neighbors are frowning upon him. All this shit. We playing for the bag, right? So, dude says, "Well, we still got your client on 2 different situations."
So, remember Greg Kading just said So we confronted him with the allegations. We got your client on 2 different situations. This is what Greg Kading and them actually told this nigga in the conference room at FBI headquarters on a Sunday. We got your client on 2 things.
He like, is that right? We'll put him on the table. We walking out of here, right? So first situation, he said, well, we found firearms in the house. He's an ex-convict felon.
Firearms with an S. Remember, he doesn't say this firearm. He's going to say these firearms. Pay attention. It was Greg Kading came and lied and said one old gun that I think belonged to your wife's father or something, right? But here it is. A bunch of
antique pistols. Come on.
Right.
Antique pistols.
He can't be around firearms, right? So I stopped my attorney. I said, well, you ain't found no firearms in my house. He said, yes, we did. These firearms and such and such. I said,
you ain't found no firearms in my house. Yes, we did. These firearms, plural.
Well, I ain't never seen them firearms in my life. He said, well, they registered to your wife.
Damn.
I said, well, what they got to do with me?
No, that means
he said, well, that's your wife. I said, okay, well, what they got to do with me? He said, well, you live in a home. I said,
right. Well, they might have threw them on the table, bro. They might have threw them on the actual thing on the table to scare the nigga even more, to flip it. You know what I'm saying? This is what we found. Big U told me that when it happened, Wack told him that it was 6 firearms. So yeah. So he's admitting right here that it was multiple. So hey, I mean, you 2 guns, 3 guns, it doesn't matter. Ex-felon in possession of a firearm. Oh yeah, you're going down, and because they trying to flip you, they're going to threaten to lock him up, your wife, because they had her handcuffed this shit. They're going to threaten to lock her up unless you give them what they looking for. Let's go.
So you can't prove I live in that home, right? What, you got some cars that's registered to a corporation? Matter of fact, I said, can I go in my back pocket? I pull my wallet out. I slide my wallet. What's this? That's where I live.
No cap.
I've been a resident of Oklahoma since 2003. I got 13 houses on my portfolio. Which one you gonna put me in various states, right? I said, you see that? Commercial driver's license. I'm a truck driver. So you putting some guns on me that's in a California residence, but yet I pay Oklahoma state taxes? Help me understand it. Let that go. Second thing they had against me, they press play, wiretap. This is why I know when I hear certain wiretaps was conspiracy, how they get you.
So now he's saying not only did they tell him that they had him with the blinkies, they told him, oh, and we got you on a wiretap, nigga. Nigga, you said you had nothing to do with the Main Street case. You said that wasn't you in the paperwork at CS2 back. But for one reason or another, they got you they told you they got you on wiretaps. Nigga, they don't miss on no wiretap, nigga. They not gonna come get you till they know that they got you talking about crimes or doing a crime and conspiring to do crimes on wiretap. That's how the feds move, bro. They'll sleep with you. My mama told me my grandfather, I never got to meet my mom's father, he rest in peace. He had passed away before I was born, right? But my mama always told me her daddy told her that the feds will sleep with you and they'll wait years and they won't come get you until they got you. Wiretaps, bugs in the house. And they had all of this for Wack. And then they raid his house. And then 2 days after that, they said, we still got your client on 2 things. These guns, ex-felons with the guns, and a wiretap. And this is what he said got him out. He's having trial on the 64th floor at FBI headquarters. And he's his own lawyer. Let's go.
They got me on the phone. said, yeah. All right, what you got? Said, we got a special move. Where's it coming from? Down by National City, down by Tijuana, Mexico. Yeah. All right. It's gonna be kind of heavy, but it'll pay you 23,000 one way. Where's it going? Seattle area, Seattle, Bellevue, Tacoma, multiple stops. Get it to them before they close. And I was you straight. All right, no problem. I'll be down there to get it.
You chilling with the answer.
Right,
So they turned
JP.
off the thing. They like, well, our confidential informant is saying you moving drugs for Suge Knight. I said, moving drugs for Suge Knight. Now, me personally, I've never heard Suge involved in the cocaine, the drug dealing, none of that shit. So I'm looking at it like they crazy because I know what recording they got. I said, well, can I make a phone call in front of you on speakerphone? Yeah.
Trafficking,
call the
drugs
number.
and shit too.
What up, Wack? Hey, we got something cooking. Down by Mexico. Yeah. Talking about National City. Yeah, what you got? He said, yeah, we got 6. I said, what it pay? It ain't that what you used to, but you can get 17, 18, 17. He said, but it's light. It ain't that heavy. How much weight we talking? 71, 72,000
Salute to the No
pounds.
Cap Network.
All right, cool. I said, yo, who am I talking to again? He said, this is BMW Distribution, Auto Logistics. All right, thanks. I said, you stupid motherfucker, what you listening to is...
So, man, I know...
Ain't that the sting? That was part of the sting, right?
Yeah, hold on. Hey, what's going on? So when they said this is BMW Auto Logistics, bro, you gotta understand Tanisha Swan was caught up and lined up and caught up on fraud charges. Remember, Tanisha Swan was the last person who corroborated Poochie as the homicide. They had her on different things. They threatened to take her child, right? Put her child in child protective services. And she ended up pointing the finger at Suge Knight and Poochie on the unaliving of what you call it. But if you know law, anything about the law, it takes 2 people to corroborate one fact in the conspiracy, right? So that first fact initially came from her. So when he says that they caught him on wiretap and he's on the 60th floor in the conference room and they said, well, hold on, let me call him. That's not no dope. Who am I talking to? This is BMW Auto Logistics. Well, that's what Tanisha Swan's car, Tanisha Swan was caught up for. In a ring selling tag cars, fraud cars, getting them tagged in Mexico, and he was bringing them back. That's the wiretap.
Right.
So
didn't his brother get caught up too with him?
No. His brother got caught up with him in Texas on the gun case. This is him getting caught in California, and the sheriff's detective Paul Fournier and Paul Fournier and Michael Kiwe ended up knocking, right? So and they bring him. Now remember, they said that he was the only one that was arrested. So Wack said that they get him, they tell him two different cases, the pistols and the wiretap. Somebody catch him on Clubhouse or in the chat where he slides in one of these, what you call them, ask him again what was the wiretap, because I'm quite sure his story will change again. You know what I'm saying? Like it always does. Or he might stick to the same one, but push him for some more details. But at this point, it's already obvious. You ain't supposed to be talking to the feds, period, let alone on a Sunday. And you having this whole conversation with the deputized federal agents, one of which was talking to you about 5 keys. You know what I'm saying? And they talking about they got you on wiretap. Now, mind you, y'all know this nigga's a horn dog. Bro, this nigga, they had the room on Clubhouse surviving Wack100. He's a serial masturbator. He gets female. I'm not saying baddie, bro. I'm talking about Mama Lisa, nigga. Mama Lisa is like 60-something years old, bro. 60-something years old, be having on somebody auntie grandma at church hat. You know how they be having the hats when they go to church with the little neck coming down? One of them type, nigga. Nigga got her busting it open, nigga, on FaceTime, recording them, nigga. While he whacking off, and they talking about he get the auntie, yeah. He in a granny porn too, but now he wants us to believe he's seen this badass Creole broad at Johnny's on the Strip, at Johnny's on the Strip. No, Stevie's on the Strip. I'm finna say Johnny Pastrami. He's seen this badass Creole looking broad at Stevie's on the Strip with Box, and they talking about 5 keys, and they connect with this thirsty ass nigga. He do business with rats. So you talking about you worried about doing business with this bitch? You gonna talk to her if anything, even if you ain't finna sell her the work. Your horny ass finna talk to her to get the number, and do whatever the fuck you gotta do. Cause you's a horn dog. You trying to figure out how you can slide up in that bad Creole bitch. You know what I'm saying?
He was talking up a storm. He was pillow talking.
Ain't no question, and that's what it was. He got the pillow talking, and they caught him on the first time.
Listen, the fact that he described how fine she was showed how he was real interested. So he really was trying to show his Mac off and all that shit, trying to act like, because he do it now. So,
exactly. I mean,
he's a creature of habit. Come on. Stop.
I totally agree with that. S550J says he said it was 8 of them. Why would it take 8 agents to talk to him unless they were all working on the case? Facts. It was the joint task force working on the Biggie case. Jan P. Salute MB all day, every day. Dr. Cheryl Lovely Fox. What kind of doctor are you, Cheryl? They knew he was going to tell. That's why it was a conference and not an arrest and bailout. Confidential source court on the 64th floor. So who telling on who? Because if Stutterbox telling and Wack there to set up Stutterbox and they meet the feds, who they telling on? This story alive. Yeah. Hey, go sit down. Go. Because you getting on my nerves. I'm going to get this belt. So this message is brought to you by Wack100, the National Association of Informants. Snitch safe, snitch proud. That's how he fucked over Kim. Right. A movie script notebook is way different from the police paperwork, clown. This phone call sounds script, right? It don't matter. The fans know exactly where you live. Yeah, that's a fact. It's Pussy Port, Ass Loose, Kermit the Frog, and his bitch Miss Piggy.
Oh, shit. They must be the Muffin Babies.
The
Rat Muffin Babies or some shit.
Miss Piggy and Kermit the Frog sound like the word wiretap got him worried. He said the gun is registered in his wife's name. But remember, as soon as he said, they said wiretap, he said, that's how I be knowing when niggas get caught up on wiretaps, how they get caught up. Yeah, how do you know all of this? Nigga, if you never been to the feds, if you never been caught on wiretap before, he said the gun is registered in his wife's name. He shouldn't went to jail if the gun was in his wife's name, and Greg said the gun was her dad's gun. Yeah, this nasty work. Pay attention when he said they went in his home office, but they can't prove he lived at the residence. Laugh out loud. Dude could. Look, no, you're right about that, because you got squatter laws, so they could easily prove that he there. His kids lived there. His wife lived there, right? His clothes lived there. And mind you, they called him as if they were wanted him to do a pickup on his truck with an enormous bag for him to go do a pickup to get him out the house, because Stutterbox then told them that the house, it's a gang of guns in the house, is like Fort Knox. They actually found the guns, but no, it goes back to the tag cars. Remember, they're in the home office, and he said, "Oh, I had to go get my paperwork and documents that they took out my home office." Well, the paperwork and documents, what are they looking for? They're looking for the tag high-end cars. He got cracked on that too. So why you got security for your kids? Because he was already working. So Wack said they met two Fed chicks to buy keys. I'm confused. Who Stutter telling on and how Wack telling? Lou, I don't know how you confused. Because someone they both telling. Nigga, you think only one can tell, nigga? And
That's
they
the
only
thing,
can tell
like,
on
why
one person?
he admitted these niggas tried to kill him and his girl. They beat his ass. He went to the police, started working, and he was across the street from Wack, who was a eager, thirsty nigga that wanted to get close to the game and all these niggas. And then he's a nigga that's an ear hustler. So he even that picture with Shug and he's sitting in the car next to him shows it. You know how a picture says 1,000 words. That's that he's like that little rat ass nigga that was right there, and he turned out to be that. So you telling me this motherfucker, when he got cracked with them guns and all, he didn't start working from there? And y'all niggas can't believe that he ain't working now? Come on, bro. A person gonna show you who they is. This nigga's in everybody business. Why is he in this one Young Thug shit? He's in everybody fucking business. Y'all tell me he ain't a rat. If you don't believe me, you a goofy. I said it last time. You a goofy. But continue, bro. Continue. For real, though.
Smooth Living said, "Can someone help me out? I didn't think anyone could just walk into the FBI building, especially after a raid. Is that possible?" Yeah, I think they had a meeting, like a Zoom meeting, but in person on a Sunday with his lawyer. They scheduled it. Senior General Trav, this clown lying. Them properties is Kim's. Pops had his weird ass manager. That ain't his ownership according to that perjury dealing with Bell and Kiwe D out. No. That house is in his name. He owned the deal. Kim has no equity. That was the other big lie. G-Mac sent me the thing a long time ago, and I can show y'all if y'all want me to. Y'all could just put it in the chat, and I'll go back and go get it, right? But no, that house, that mortgage, all of that is in his name, and his name solely. It has nothing to do with Kim. You know what I'm saying? She might have helped him get it, but he put that money up and he got that in his name. They'll rent, it's up for foreclosure right now. They'll rent the house for rent on your street and dig through your trash. On Stutter, while they there, he lying. Did Stutterbox confirm this story? I don't know what you saying he lying about. Of course he lying, but I don't know what you said he lying about. My brother's Nebraska case, he was serving a dude that used to shoot the dog shoot the dog in his arm. Whole time he and his girl was the feds. He said when he went to court, they put the dude in rehab. He looked clean and healthy when he came to court. Damn. CS2 back. I believe they did tell him they had him on 2 cases, and one in Texas and the Main Street case. That's the 2. Hey, S550J, you sharp as porcupine quills, nigga. That's probably exactly what they said. They tell on each other's Christian Landry. Fact, CS2 back said he was on the 64th floor while holding 4 fingers like, bro, man. When he seen that girl, he got spooked because he just did business with her or tried to get her the 2 kilos she was looking for, which is conspiracy. Right. Hey, look, man, I don't be fucking with this, but this bitch, she out of town. Nigga trying to make this little quick, what you call it, man? What you gonna hit me for on them things, man? What how many you want, man? 5. 5? Yeah, you got to give me a deal, though. If not, I'm going to go holler at the homie. I know Blood got some. Oh, I'll give them to you for 17.5. Nah. What's the name said they give them to me for 16.8. Man, I'll do the 16.8 if you're getting all 5. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? And that's all they needed. We was putting it on thick, going for the bag. But first, you waived the Miranda rights. Yeah, he had to waive his Miranda rights. You can't talk to him with your lawyer there. That's why your lawyer there to do all of the talking. So for him to be talking to him, it's either a proffer agreement or he all out waived his rights. Queen for a day, nigga. And if there are wiretaps and tracking him, they know where he lived. Yeah, they know he left his house that night to go to work. You know what I'm saying? That's why they waited till he left and then raided. They got his wife and all that at the house. They got him and it pulled his truck over and they searched the truck. Wack's son, the belly dancer, his security. I talked to Dog and tell on everybody else. Yep, Fed agent. I seen it. The property was in Cash Jones' name. I remember that. Yep. Streets don't lie. Come on. Salute that Eminem. Dice TV. Salute. What's up, brother? You know what I'm saying? My bad. Is Wack lying about this meeting them Fed chick story? Hell no. He ain't lying about that. Served well, champ. Even in the movie, remember she was like, what was his name? And she got to talk about he's a blood. He with relations, just like Suge, with relations to him. His name was somebody in the chat. Let's see what his name was in the chat. Jimbo, what up, fool? Dirt gang in the building. Enter the Don LLC. Wait, hold on. Is that my brother, man? Kading? Yeah, that's Kading, man. Salute to Kading, man. We got to get this documentary done. We got the link. But chilling, my guy, man. I'm glad to see you in there. Alonzo Zoe Scott. That was the nigga name. She's the one in the movie that said, look, they already own it. Alonzo Zoe Scott, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Canada, CA, we here. Alonzo Zoe Scott. What's the trucker's name? Alonzo Zoe Scott. Nasty work. So that's her. Hell yeah, he met her. She was the one on him. You know what I'm saying? So I do believe that. So look, we're going to go ahead and go from that. So we know that he got those two cases. And he already, mind you, he already out on bail for that for the Texas case. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember old Debbie? But remember, this nigga be claiming that he got nothing to do with the Main Street case. I ain't from Main Street. CS2 back is from Main Street. So you got nothing to do with that case, but you were an employee for Deja 34 Records, and they talked to DJ K-Slay, Ray J, Shaquille O'Neal, Money Mark Stevens, but they didn't talk to you, and you were security for Ray J, and the deal was supposed to be about a deal going bad with Ray J. Nah, I ain't buying what you selling, bro. Let's get
and in walks Greg Kading, which I orchestrated that with Mark Stevens and my attorney. The only one came from that. You dropped the shit, we dropped the shit.
Only one came from that.
Greg Kading and claimed you wasn't a fucking informant, and in walks Greg Kading, which I orchestrated that with Mark Stevens and my attorney. The only one came from that. You dropped.
The only one came from that, the favor. What did he say that you got to give the feds to get a favor?
Hot one.
So you got to owe me one with this fed, and you told us that we already know if you want a favor from the feds, you got to give up a body. You know what I'm saying? So the only one come from Greg Kading. Now remember, I ain't got nothing to do with this case. This is what he say. I ain't from Main Street. But listen,
shit, we dropped the shit. I use it for that to help a certain individual out I called my attorney, had the attorney put Greg Kading and Mark Stevens together. They put that together as on standard. You go pull the paperwork. Have you ever been a confidential informant to work for the LAPD, the FBI as a known snitch? He lied on the oath and said no. Greg Kading takes a stance, provides a document that this dude is in fact one of our informants, this, that. At that point, the judge looks at it. He perjured himself. Therefore, any allegations or any claims he's bringing on any
feds give him that
is non and void. They dropped the charges on these 7 Crips and let them go. So in a sense, this power roof freed the Crips. But you know, target was to help another individual out. And claim you wasn't a fucking informant, and in walks Greg Kading, which I orchestrated that with Mark Stevens and my attorney. The only one came from that. You dropped the shit, we dropped the shit. I used it for that to help a certain individual.
And Mark, that's his rendition. He helped Money Mark Stevens. And that's why he sent Greg Kading at Money Mark Stevens. But Mark Stevens was the target. Him and Shaquille O'Neal are alleged to be the ones who ordered for what after the extortion attempt by Stutterbox. Oh, y'all don't know about the extortion attempt? After the extortion attempt by Stutterbox, they ordered the main streets to tighten them up. You know what I'm saying? And that's when he got caught. But anyway, so we know he lying about Money Mark Stevens. He never thought that I would be able to go interview Money Mark Stevens, right? And he says he has nothing to do with the main streets. Remember that. I'm not from Main Street. That's all that's Crip on Crip. That's how he try to divide it, right? Well, I got something else that proves that he's a goddamn lie, right? Let's go on IG real quick.
Just like he was lying about Jay Reed, said, "Gangsta Crip."
That's his, hey, bro, you got it. That's his MO, bro. So here it go right here.
I'm the nigga that hit him. Del Dog knew I was a nigga that was keeping Stutterbox right. And he started hating me from day one when he came up there for a death row meeting, and I wouldn't let him in with his tool, and I made him go put it up. He looked at everybody. He said, "Homie, this is what it is." He said, "Wack running point, my nigga, like it's what it is." I said, "Bro, put it up. You can get up out of here on Power Road." You got to remember, he running set. So when I did him like that in front of his homies and Tony Muhammad, he hated me ever since. We ain't never had a kind word for each other. So I don't know what the fuck this bozo, or what you at Del Dog. Hey, the main streets is gonna be like, dog, what is you talking about? Them niggas never.
That bozo, he played young.
The nigga that killed Del Dog, they all know I'm the nigga that hit him. Del Dog knew I was a nigga that was keeping Stutterbox right.
The nigga,
and he started hating me from day one.
I'm the nigga that hit him. But I thought he didn't have nothing to do with the main street. I thought he didn't never have nothing to do with the main street. Jane P say law enforcement can't owe me nothing. I don't understand that. Two penitentiary bits, and I know better. We laugh at me like CS2 back and send suckers to work them. Yeah, facts. ETEs, fuck CS2 back. Kid the barber, Miss Lisa. Salute, Miss Lisa. So that was the nasty work. And we finna get to this Greg Kading, Scandalous Los Angeles TV. He milked Greg Kading to get everything else. So we interview Money Mark. He never thought that was gonna happen. So that's how we was able to break this shit all the way open. But I had jumped in Facebook inbox of Greg Kading and was questioning them about that investigation to catch Wack in them lies. I caught him in a whole bunch of them, and I got a lot of facts out of it. Man, I do journalistic research, but y'all know that by now, you know what I'm saying? But Scandalous seen that and said, well, shit, I'm gonna call the nigga and see if I can get him. And this is what we got.
Welcome back to Scandalous Los Angeles TV, where we expose the exposers. Today, we're going to let you guys hear what Greg Kading has to say about CS2 back. You're going to hear Greg attempt to shield his confidential source, but you're also going to hear him place Wack directly in the CS2 driver's seat. I'll interject a little throughout the interview, just to point out a few things. Other than that, I'm going to just let it play. Tell me in the comment section what you think. Now, Greg, this isn't about you. This is about Wack. I understand you have to do what you gotta do. But if he can bring you on Clubhouse to tell us all that stuff, I feel I should be able to ask some questions, so the people can be informed. So again, this has nothing to do with you. This is about Wack.
Yeah, I get it. No, and again, I'm not trying to get in the middle of whatever bullshit is going on between Wack and whatever bullshit's going on with Starbucks. I don't give a fuck about that beef. Whatever it is, they'll figure it out. I'm just going to tell you investigatively, we would have listed Wack, Cash Jones, in our paperwork. He would have been like target one, and his phone would have been target one. And so when we were looking at him, we used particular language in our paperwork. So if we're writing the wiretap affidavit for his phone, we would say Cash Jones, also known as Wack. You were utilizing target number, whatever, which would be his phone. I think it was some 661 phone number. And that's just the language. Nowhere within the paperwork related to the investigation of Cash Jones, was he ever...
Y'all, see, a lot of y'all would think because he said the investigation of Cash Jones that he doesn't have, they found nothing or he didn't contribute nothing. But the investigation of Cash Jones is different from the investigation of Death Row and the Biggie murder, right? The investigation of Cash Jones is different from the investigation into the Main Street Crips. So Greg Kading is already being deceptive and trying to steer Scandalous down the wrong path. But Scandalous is way too shy. Let's go.
Mentioned as a CS or an informant, because he wasn't.
Okay. Now, Greg, we're talking about the case Stutterbox had against Shaquille O'Neal and the 7 Main Street Crips. When Wack brought you on Clubhouse, he asked you what would he have been referred to as in the paperwork.
And then in your paperwork, I don't know. How was I referred to? Was I referred to Wack, Cash Jones? They have this Back name. I don't know who the fuck Back is. I don't know. I know I've never had that moniker, but I don't know. Maybe it was some coded shit. Or how did you recall referring to me through all the paperwork when you guys were like listening in on my wiretaps? So like saying, okay, this is Wack, this is Cash Jones on the wiretap. What was I referred to in your, because I've never looked over that paperwork, never had a need to. What was I referred to?
If Wack had nothing to do with Del Dog, Shaq, or any of the Main Street Crips, why would his name be being referred to in the paperwork at all?
So again, this is completely different investigation. We have to be real careful that we don't cross over these ideas, because when I said he would have been mentioned in the paperwork, if we're talking about Cash Jones's case, then we may have mentioned a CS, which would have been Stutterbox, saying these things about Cash that we investigated. There's that. Now, if Cash is asking me if his name was in the Main Street case, no, it wasn't. Now, if Cash is asking me if his name was in the Main Street case, no, it wasn't.
So we all know that Greg is not being truthful when he says that. We can clearly see Wack's government name, Cash Jones, all in this case. Hey, Christopher Love's boys, this shows you why you can't believe everything the police say. This also shows you that the police are protecting Wack, as they would any other confidential informant that's in good standing with them, unlike Stutterbox. But I want you to hear what Greg says right after he said Wack was not in the Main Street case at all.
There was no mention of Cash in the Main Street case. Other than when he's trying to get a hold of Mark Stevens and in order to tell him that boxes been compromised.
Yeah, and that's what the wiretap transcript said CS2 Back, or Wack, was calling Del Dog to do. Not Del Dog, but Mark Stevens.
See what you just did, though?
Yeah, I said Del Dog.
You said CS2 Wack. It doesn't say that, does it?
Yes, it does.
Doesn't it say CS2 Back?
Yes, it says CS2 Back.
See, this was another confirmation that the paperwork said CS2 Back. Greg Kading said, you said CS2 Wack. It doesn't say that. He said, yes, it does. He said, doesn't it say CS2 Back? So the paperwork Duse M made up. The paperwork Mark Stevens gave Duse M, the paperwork that Stutterbox got, and is all the same. And it says CS2 Back is calls Mark Stevens several times. And on one call, he's trying to get him to call Del Dog to let him know that Wack100 went bad. I mean that Stutterbox went sour, and that the phones were compromised. How did you know that the phones was compromised, Wack100? Well, because when you went on the 60th floor, they told you they got you on wiretap, nigga. Nigga, they got you on wiretap. After this video, we're going to go ahead and we're going to let you hear what Stutterbox says. They got them on wiretap talking about. Let's go.
Okay, well, you know what you just said?
What did I say?
CS2 Wack.
I meant CS2 Back.
Because in your mind, and bear with me, no offense here, but I think you've already come to the conclusion that Back is Wack, and that's why that's such an easy mistake to make.
Well, the reason I think Wack is CS2 Back is because that's who Mark Stevens said he was talking to.
Well, nobody's disputing that. Nobody's disputing that Mark Stevens is saying that Wack is who he was talking to.
But he's saying that that's Back. He is saying that Back is Wack.
How does Mark Stevens put that together? Show me how Mark Stevens has anything to substantiate that Back is Wack.
In the paperwork, they put him as Back, B-A-C-K. And I kept asking the lawyer, like, who the fuck is? I ain't talked to no Back. And they said, nah, that's Wack. But they put him as Back because he a blood, so it's Back. And I said, oh, okay.
And was this Back also referred as confidential source number 2?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so no offense to Mark, he doesn't know any better. But when we're writing official police report,
hey, this devil is condescending and deceptive as hell. Look at the games he playing. Scandalous wasn't going for it though. He had the right one.
We don't play the game. We don't change language or change spelling because we are, part of the gang culture. We're not going to put Wack. We're going to put Back because he's a blood, not a Crip, and we don't. That's not how we operate. We don't. That's gang shit. We don't write as gangsters. We write as police officers and try to be as specific as possible.
Greg is saying they try to be as specific as possible, and that they don't do things like that. But we're all looking at a wiretap transcript where they did exactly that. They put a person named Back in the paperwork, and no one knows who Back is.
We don't change things in order to. So if Mark Stevens is thinking that, oh man, the cops just put this in there this way because he's a blood and not a Crip, it's not how it works.
I hear you, Greg. But even without them doing that, the conversation with Mark Stevens and Del Dog did actually take place. And Mark Stevens is saying the person who called him looking for Del Dog's phone number was Wack. Mark said he doesn't know anyone named Back. So why would they put some fake person that Mark has never ever talked to in the transcripts?
Right.
No, I get that. See, we are totally in agreement. The conversation is Wack, obviously.
The conversation is Wack, obviously. The conversation is Wack, obviously. So right here in front, you got first Wazzy got the most common sense of anybody or more common sense to anybody on the hunting side or with the exposers. He said, how Mark don't know what he talking about? Like he wasn't on the wiretap with Dale Dog. Listen, bro. First of all, Mark Stevens is a sports agent. Sports agent for Shaquille O'Neal, sports agent for Stephen A. Smith, sports agent for Ron Artest, sports agent for Pac-Man Jones. So he's not from that world. If the feds come find a civilian like Mark Stevens and begin investigating them and tell them about a wiretap, and this being the first wiretap, I'm quite sure he's going to remember who he talked to that day, and everything about it is going to flash before his through his mind. Nigga, you ain't never going to forget the day that them peoples came looking for you, nigga. You ain't going to never forget how they came looking for you. And he was very clear and articulate. So, Wazzy, hell of a point, bro. Salute to you. Great comment. Appreciate your interaction. That's fucking true. So we don't even need. So he admits though, right there is Wack100 obviously. So on this call, there are only now. First, he admitted that it doesn't say CS2 Wack. He says the wiretap says CS2 back, doesn't it? So CS2 back. CS2 back is saying Stutterbox went sour. The phones is tapped. We know Wack admitted that they told him he was on the wiretap when he got up in there, right? On the 60th floor, right? He says Stutterbox told on him. Both of those dots are connected. He checks both boxes. Caught on wiretap, boom. Also, Stutterbox went sour on him. Boom. He told on me. So he's CS2 back is not Stutterbox. So get him out of there. He's mentioned on this wiretap, but that's not CS2 back. Dale Dog is not CS2 back. Money Mark Stevens is not CS2 back. So if the other person on this wiretap on this call is CS2 back and Greg Kading is just admitted, what? Hold on. It's simple. Greg Kading just admitted.
Mark said he doesn't know anyone named Back. So why would they put some fake person that Mark has never ever talked to in the transcripts?
No, I get that. See, we are totally in agreement. The conversation is Wack, obviously. The conversation is Wack, obviously.
The conversation is Wack, obviously. The conversation is Wack, obviously. It's some nasty work. How is it in the no jumper situation? Suspect 1 is in custody, but suspect 4 is able to show up at no jumper every week like nothing ever happened. Do the math. They're about to fry Wacky. Hey, Jane Pete, I already did the math. I'm waiting to get the word as soon as it strike the news. I'm quite sure everybody on Instagram, Clubhouse, and everything gonna be texting. We got the content. Just like Greg put Alonzo Scott as Wack. He said why would they put Back as Wack? Why? He tried to throw people off with Alonzo Scott when they could have named the dude Wack. And he has hair in the movie, right? To throw him off. It kicked me off, dudes, but I'm back in the chat. I'm going to drop the link again, bro. I think your internet, your Wi-Fi nervous, your service nervous, brother. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's nasty work. It's only 4 people we're talking about on this wiretap. CS2 Back, Money Mark Stevens, Dale Dog, and Stutterbox. So we got a super chat. I'm glad you sent it before I got into the video. So let's get down to here. Big Marcus. Salute, Big Marcus. Deuce, much love, big bro. Hey, much love to you, bro. Salute. Every donation is to the Damu Kiwe conversation is appreciated. It help keep the lights on, man. I'm in the basement right now. Where my belt at? Didn't I tell you to sit your ass down? She is so spoiled, bro. So spoiled. She gonna get that belt and baby dig. What's bragging? So let's get to this, right? So Stutterbox. Remember Wack say he got caught on wiretap? Hold on. Stutterbox finally speaks. Los Angeles Confidential, nigga. Salute and thanks, champ. Big Marcus, Deuce, talk to Debbie. Salute Big Marcus for another super chat, man. Every dollar donated to the Damu Kiwe conversation is appreciated, man. We really, really appreciate it. That dude blow up Paru so much, it's ridiculous. He just put that on Paru. He was going to meet the dude in the Jordan Downs. Man, that nigga ain't going to them motherfucking Jordan Downs. Them niggas have knocked that nigga top noodles up all about the top ramen packet, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to this, though. Los Angeles Confidential. We going to take y'all back. Wiretap.
What's up with it, man? You know,
love your life too, bro. Stay in contact.
I
You got my
wanna
number.
check something, but you always got to be thinking,
I want
man,
some pork, Miss Piggy.
before you open your mouth. Especially if you really thinking about moving, you feel me? It should be silence and violence. You know, I want to speak on this dude keep kicking my name. I told this nigga I'ma drown his ass, homie, on Main Street. I'ma drown, cuz. Let me tell you how I meet this clown, man. This nigga all in my paperwork, man. The nigga say box. The nigga Suge won't put me on, homie. I've been fucking with this dude.
Hold on, let me get to these super chats. I see Marcus is on. We gonna have to get it since he's sending them. Big Marcus with a $20 super chat. Bang thing. I want some pork, Miss Piggy. Oink, oink, oink. Hey, shout out Sharice Mills. Sharice is, she say, I don't got no Spanish chick. I ain't got a bitch, you know. I'm at my woman, brother and sister house. Her little brother and sister bought this house, and her other little brother bought a house about 5 minutes from here. One thing about them amigos, they get together, put their money together, and they buy property and own. But salute the big Marcus for going at old Clarice, Sharice, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Old Miss Porky. And then another $20 super chat. Salute to Deuce and y'all. Hey, look, man, every dollar donated to the Damu Kiwe conversation is really appreciated. And I'm not just saying that, bro. It really is appreciated. Shit, I really need. I just quit my job. Let's go.
Years. I said, all right, homie. Since you my neighbor, I'm going to fuck with you. The nigga.
I talked to dog.
Begged me to put him with game. Begged me to put him with Chuck. Holla at Chuck for me, Box. Holla at Reggie for me, Box.
$10
They both told me 6 times. No, no, no. I say, homie, they don't want to fuck with you. Box, they'll do it for you if you tell them to do
Game
it for
and
you.
Ray J didn't want to talk to him.
Chuck, do it for me, man. And if Cuz fuck up, I come over there and move Cuz out your camp myself. Chuck said, Box, you got me? I said, Cuz I got you. Changed Cuz life, man. He ain't looked back. In the meantime, I'm going do some politicking with my neighborhood. You know, not finna kick no names. Rest in peace to the G homie. You ain't saved no homies, homie. You ain't You ain't changed my daughter diaper. My son don't call you. He just took a deal for 11 years. He on his way home. Don't nobody respect you. You are J. Edgar Hoover, nigga. You know, in trans, nigga. In the police,
nigga.
What really fucked me up is why I decided to let this buster ass nigga know I know what he did, right? The nigga called me one day and say, Box, I'm out in my truck. Where you at? I said, I'm at home, homie. He say, they own my wife at the mall. Look out for me. I grabbed the blicky, smash up there. I see his wife coming out the driveway. I see some dudes. They most likely probably trying to holler at her. I don't know, right? But they disrespecting her movements. So I get them up off of them. I ain't gonna say what I did, but I got the niggas up off of her. Fast forward, I'll get to some gangster shit. Nigga almost killed me and my baby mama. Put like 20 holes in my Rolls Royce. See, but where I'm from, niggas beef, 3, 4 niggas, 5 niggas get killed, and niggas squash it. This old buster ass nigga from the valley, since hanging around me, he know a few people I know. He trying to reach out to the nigga behind my back to give the nigga my address, because we stay across the street from each other, like cat corner. This damn 20 years ago though. This nigga keep kicking my name, infatuated, but he's a homosexual after 20 years. Wack, you know I'm gonna drown your ass on Main Street. I'm gonna drown your ass. First chance I get. I can see how, no disrespect to Nip, cuz, but I can see how a nigga drown a nigga and turn back and kick him in their motherfucking face on Main Street. But anyway, I call Wack. My Rolls Royce gets shot up. My girl almost get killed. I lay on top of her. We make it up out of there. Wack see the bullet holes in my car the next day. He reaching out, trying to contact the nigga who supposed to be the boogeyman. I know where the nigga live at, behind my back. It's in the paperwork. All on wiretap. That's why your house got ready, you bitch ass nigga. You conspiracy to commit murder, nigga. You buster ass nigga. But let me tell you how it play out. I call cuz, like, cuz, it's 3 niggas sitting in front of your house, cuz. Is these your homies, Wack? Oh, no, Box, I know who that is. I jet fuel out the house with the fully. Then niggas probably almost shot each other trying to pull off. You feel me? Almost shot each other. If I know what I knew now, I would have jumped over their car, cuz, ran across the lawn, kicked in Wack door, and killed cuz on Main Street, on Mafia. You's a buster, nigga. You the police. You got the homie. You know, every real nigga that came into your life, me first, you crossed me. Big U second, you crossed him. Wacko, you crossed him. You talk about Game behind his back. You talk about Lil John behind his back. You talk about Ray J. You's a bitch, nigga. And you know, it's like, you know, like Malcolm has said, when a chicken come home to roost, it's all mafia, cuz. It's all mafia. A nigga holler at you, homie. You know, you police ass nigga, talking about nigga, the first code of conduct is you don't talk to the police. Nigga, you is the police, nigga. Officer Wack, snitch ass 100, buster ass nigga.
Hey, listen, bro. This is nasty work. So he went and so Stutterbox just let you know right then and there, cause wiretap, because he calling Dale Dog to try to get Stutterbox knocked down, saying that nigga went bad. So we finna get on the he bring Greg Kading, who ain't shit. Y'all know he ain't got no credibility. And then he bring Reggie Wright Jr. Y'all forgot about Reggie Wright Jr.? Well, let's talk about Reggie Wright Jr. real quick, right? Hold on, let me go ahead and go over here. Damn, what happened to the Let's go over here real quick. And we got more super chats. Did I read all of them? Salute Deuce and y'all, Miss Porky. All right. Deuce, talk to Debbie. You know what I'm saying? So we finna go to Veggie Wrong. We gonna go Veggie Wrong with this exclusive interview with Teresa Bingham. Now, if y'all don't remember who Teresa Bingham was, I'm gonna tell you about it. Let's get into it.
Didn't even get your name. I mean,
Duse
who are you talking to? Huh?
We talking to Duse M.
Who?
Like Eminem, 2 M's, but Duse M's.
Okay, like two what?
M's.
2 M's?
Yeah.
2 M's. I'm talking to 2 M's.
Yeah, 2 M's from Val TV Network, Active Chucks Entertainment. So,
that guy Black TV?
Nah, hell no. Val TV. It's a female. She's an agent for Sinclair Broadcasting and has her own company in Los Angeles, Orange County, and Vegas, media company, right? So,
right.
Yeah.
And where you from?
I'm from LA, South Central Los Angeles.
That's not what I mean when I say where you from.
I'm a little too old for that now, you know?
Okay, where was you from?
LA Brims.
Brim?
Yeah.
Oh, that's way old.
Yeah.
Ronnie Walker was a Brim. Green, right? Green and white.
Reds. The beginning of the Reds started with the LA Brims.
Right, I know that, but in the old days they were green before they turned to red.
Oh, well, maybe you know something more than me. Maybe I'm not as old as I think I am, you know?
Yeah, exactly, because that guy I was telling you about, Ronnie Walker, who is now Ron Belial, his father before him was a Brim, and he gave me the whole story of even before the Bloods was the Brims, and their color, I think, was either green and brown or green and white, but I know it was green.
Right.
Long later, after this is like in the 50s, 1950s. Yeah. In the 1950s, the Brims were green. That was their color. Later, it went to red and blue. Okay, I was just making sure. And how the fuck did you get my number?
Well, it's online. Well, first, I've been flaming up that piece of shit, Reggie Wright Jr. I got my podcast, and I worked with a whole bunch of other podcasters, and we call it Expose the Exposer. So we started, initially our main beef was Cash Jones, Wack100. He's a piece of shit. But through research, we started realizing that he was just a minion for Reggie Wright Jr. That Reggie Wright Jr. was the orchestrator and
everything.
Right.
But how the hell did you find that out? Because first of all, this number ain't nowhere.
No, it's online. Look, if you go right now to the State Bar of California.
Oh yeah, it is there. But how did you know? But nobody knows I work for Suge.
Well, I told you a long time ago. We interviewed. We didn't interview. I just recorded his bitch ass, Reggie Wright, because he's trying to push a narrative that Suge was beefing with Bunchy at the time of Bunchy dying, and because
hell no! Those two would have given their life for each other.
Right.
No. Those were ride or die. Those were ride or die, and they both loved each other. To this day, if you see Suge's chest, in about 3-inch tall letters, and Suge's a big-chested guy. He's got a little waist and little legs, but that chest is a linebacker chest, okay? And all across it, in a big arc, like a rainbow, and I'm going to say 3-inch tall letters is VUNTRY. Tattooed. For life, brother, for life. There was no beef. Everybody at the record company hated Reggie. Everybody. Ken Dog, Steve-O, Lip, Kiwe, Bontry, me, Tina, Seth, Ron Belial, Bree. Everybody hated Reggie.
Was Sid really having a sexual relationship with Reggie?
I think so. Sid was gay as fuck. Sid had done time in the pen. Sid was stealing money from Suge. Couldn't be trusted with nothing. Gay as fuck. You couldn't trust Sid. We all hated Sid too, but we couldn't do nothing about it. We just hated Reggie more. Sid was as smart as Reggie. Reggie got in more with his dad's police connections. Okay? So, how the fuck did this shit come up now is what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, right now he's in a cyber war against Suge, right? And I'm talking about the gloves off. They both telling a whole bunch of truths and spinning it, pointing the fingers at each other and all of this. But in the midst of all of this,
and only Suge is telling the truth. Reggie has to lie because he don't want this to see. Booker was loved in the streets. Him had some friends. Him Dog had some friends because he did the Death Row logo. So people, that kind of put him on with the Pirate. He was in real good standing with the Pirate. Right. But nobody, Him Dog's funeral was crowded, packed, but Bonkers was standing room only all the way out to the street. Bonkers was loved in the hood, across multiple hoods, not just Pyru. Okay, everybody loved Bontry. Everybody loved Bontry. I can't tell you that enough. Okay, the whole hood showed up when Bontry died. People loved him. Bontry was solid. Bontry didn't talk. Bontry worked. You could trust him. He wasn't a snitch. He never snitched. He knew every fucking thing, and Suge loved him. And that is why Reggie killed him, because Reggie had lost his job at the company as driver security. Suge had fired him, and Bontry was Suge's strongman, Suge's ace in the street, right? Like you couldn't, to get to Suge, you had to get through Bontry.
Right.
And Reggie knew that. And that's why Reggie took him out. And so things got real hot. So Suge sent me home for a while. Then when I came back, 2 weeks later, Reggie killed Hen Dog. How do I know? Because I went into the streets. And I went door to door in South Central on 2 streets, all the way up and down, and knocked on doors and talked to black people and got all the information myself. And Bontry's mama was in the streets watching my back the whole time I did it.
Oh.
That's how I know. That's how I know. Very rare.
But how did you find out that Reggie Wright Sr. was in the car on the Bontry team?
From reading online.
Okay.
I never knew. No one told me that. That took about 20 years before that surfaced. Because the streets talk. And someone posted online. I never knew how they knew what gas station Reggie was at. I never knew who drew them to him. I mean, how did they know that Bontry was on his way into work? Nobody knew Bontry's schedule. Reggie wasn't with the company, and not only was Reggie not with the company, no one who liked Reggie was. So somebody had to tell him Bontry went in to pay for the gas. when Boncher went in to the gas station to pay for the gas before he started the pump, that's when Reggie Wright Jr. made a phone call to the hit person who rolled up and killed Boncher. And to this day, Reggie has convinced the McDonald family that should kill Boncher. They've been putting that out there forever. And no matter how much I try to convince Boncher's mama, sister, T-Roo, Black Jesus, whatever you want to call him, right? No matter how much I try to tell them, no, that's not what happened. I didn't tell Timmy till maybe a month ago that I was in that meeting. Timmy never knew that.
What was Timmy's response?
He stopped talking to me. He went radio silent after that. Timmy and I have been talking for like a year or two, and the minute he found out I was in that meeting, because Timmy had thought it was some kid from Colorado that drew them to Boncher all this time. He'd even gone to Colorado, tried to find the guy, couldn't find the guy. Timmy didn't know what the fuck was up because I had attorney-client privilege. Okay?
And God bless that brother, man.
Right? I mean, Timmy was trying everything to track down his brother's kill. He was trying so hard. But I never told anybody about that meeting because of that attorney-client privilege thing. Right? Because I'm not supposed to, right? I'm not supposed to talk about that. I knew where Suge and I was, but that is a attorney-client privilege meeting. I was Suge's lawyer, and I was there under attorney-client privilege, and Suge was paying me. So I wasn't going to fuck off my license. It wasn't going to bring Boncher back. Right? But now I can talk for the first time because now I have mad ass protection. Anybody fucking touches me and they will do life and then some. Oh no, not even life. It ain't even no. Anybody even blinks an eyelash at me, we won't know where they are. They will just fucking disappear, and I don't know how, and I don't know nothing. Okay, so now I can.
Right.
But
so look, Teresa. Once he tried to point the finger at Suge, we know he's lying, right? So we're like, we know you're behind all of this shit. You're fucking lying. So we go online researching, and we found a note that Suge and Bunchy were together before Bunchy got killed, having a meeting with you. And it was supposed to be about Reggie Wright Jr. So I called Reggie Wright Jr. and I said, you piece of shit, you trying to point the finger at Suge as if he had a motive to kill Bunchy, and just because you trying to hide your own track. Bunchy, if they did have a problem, and Suge obviously worked their shit out.
Nah. From January 2nd, 2002, when I first came to the company, Boncher's office was next to mine. Everywhere Boncher went, Suge went. They drank together, they ate together, they were in the studio together. Everybody knew Boncher was Suge's best friend. It was no secret. Whenever we had meetings, it would be Suge, Boncher, and I only. We were running that company, okay? Suge trusted Boncher with everything. Boncher trusted Suge with everything. They were brothers. They loved each other. Boncher was well paid by Suge, taking on trips to Hawaii. Boncher and Suge never fell out over nothing. Who fell out was Reggie Wright because he stole from Suge. He took the building, he took the money, and Boncher
and the car.
And the car. Boncher and Suge decided they were going to deal with Boncher and keep the women out of it. Keep the women out of it. I was out of that. I was not in that loop. That was between Boncher, Suge, and Little Reggie. And Little Reggie was going to have to answer for his shit. He was going to have to give back that money. That's all. So Reggie didn't want to give back the money he stole. Reggie was going to go to jail. We were going to sue. It was going to be made public.
Free Suge in the
Public.
chat.
We were going
Free
public with
Suge.
a lawsuit about Reggie. Then they killed Bontry. Then they got to Left Eye down in the Caribbean and fucked with her brakes. When she took that corner and hit her brakes, her brake on had been cut. Timmy came into my office wanting to see the corner photos of Left Eye because he wanted to know what happened to Left Eye because Left Eye was fucking Suge. Left Eye was in love with Suge. We all were. We worked for him. We loved being at death row. It was fun. We was having pizza parties, drinking, gangbangers hanging out in the parking lot, in the studio, going to restaurants. We were having the time of our lives. All we had to do was get rid of Reggie, and we were good. We were on our way. We had plenty of artists. We had PB, Pretty Boy. We had Ray J. We had Miss Cholet. We had Corrupt back. We had Crooked Eye. We had Jim Giddem. We had great engineers, great producers at the studio. We were good to roll. Jermaine Jackson came to the studio. I mean, we were banging. Mia was down there, you know, from Maya, M-Y-A. She was down there.
Oh, yeah, Maya.
Maya was down there. We were having fun, man. Corrupt was cutting songs. Spider Loaf was down there. Eastwood was down there. Vegas was down there. Suge had a full crew ready to go. Then Reggie started killing people. Bontry turned. Then Left Eye. They got to her. Then they got to Hen Dog. Then they put Suge in jail. Then they put T-Roo in jail. So I was fighting T-Roo's case and Suge's case at the same time between the end of 2002 until February 2003. Suge beat his case, went back to the company, but it was not the same without Bontry. Suge was a broken man. Suge was never the same after they killed Bontry. Never. Never. Never, never, never. That took a piece of Suge that Suge will never get back. We loved Bontry. You should have seen how much money he paid for Bontry's funeral. Everybody was there. House was packed. We went. Bontry got in the mausoleum, like the same place like Michael Jackson is. Like, he didn't get buried in no regular grave. No. Bontry got buried in marble, okay? They let off a bunch of white doves at his funeral. Ray J was there. Everybody was there. Limousines. Suge spent about, I don't know, I'd say $250,000 on Bontry's funeral. Okay, that was an expensive funeral, let me tell you. That was no cheap funeral. If you're feuding with someone, you don't spend your last dollars burying them in marble. Marble!
Right.
Inside the mausoleum. You have to go through the door.
Did Reggie bitch ass go to Bontry's funeral?
No, Reggie was not invited. He better not show up. He would have been killed if he had showed up. We had guys posted up everywhere. Nobody at the company liked Reggie.
Yeah, well, there was an entire article online where you said all of this about the Baker law firm.
Baker, Keener, and Nara.
Baker, Keener, and Nara.
Bob Baker, that's who we met with. The senior partner of that firm. That is exactly. And Bob told me later, he said, man, Bontry died the next day. Bob knew it was connected. Bob is an old guy. He's been around forever. He represented O.J. Simpson in the civil case.
Fantasy Bambi, what up? Salute.
Bob has been around forever. He knew why Bontry.
So that was it. Reggie started killing people. The fall of death row. So when Suge say crooked police, he talking about pork butt, right? We got part 2 of that. I'm gonna make sure I release it. I talked to her recently, so we gonna get that part 2 out probably tomorrow. I gotta find it because I wasn't gonna bring it out, but because she didn't even want, like, on that one you don't hear her name. You know what I'm saying? That was her main thing. She didn't want Reggie and them. She feared for her safety, rightfully so. Ain't no telling what the JDL and the crooked ass police and the feds got in store for anybody who tried to reveal how they did Suge, how they stole Death Row in the catalog, how Koch Records, Alan Grumblock, and Alan Grumblock. I talked to Alan Grumblock, and he proclaimed how much he loves Suge. If you really love Suge, then why you didn't uphold that deal that all 5% of all urban music sales was going to be paid to Suge forever? Y'all built Koch Records, urban division, off of the Death Row catalog, utilizing that as collateral, the equitable value, the secured equitable value that Suge Knight and Death Row Records had in the Tupac catalog and these other Death Row Records that you guys were permitted to utilize as an admin deal. Reggie even admitted to that. And Alan is lying about it, acting dumb. How you don't know that you built it utilizing this and they required that? Reggie said he told him, we're not finna have another Interscope who builds his company in urban sector off of our back. Suge gonna get paid off of this 5% of all urban sales on Koch Record, which is now Entertainment One. No wonder they wanted to keep him in jail. Instead of get that man what he got coming, think about the Dipset. Think about Fat Joe. Think about Busta Rhymes. Think about High Power Entertainment with Mr. Capone and Soldier Inc. Different demographics of hip-hop and urban rap music. Suge was supposed to get a check off of all of it. But instead, the check's going to Wack100 CS2 back and Veggie wrong. You know what I'm saying? I think they doing it through the game and the Ray J royalty checks, fluffing them up like the money that goes to Black Box Monies that's collected. They make it super fat for them so that he could pay Veggie his cut. But in any event, and nobody would ever think the worst of it. In any event, she was saying that that article wasn't nowhere. I don't know how she didn't know that article was public. We're going to go to, I think it's at 51 minutes. Scandalous had put it on his documentary he did, right? And it's the article showing proof. This is why we tracked her down, bro. Hold on. Check this out.
Here, y'all gonna say y'all heard it first. This is the bitch that used to walk around shitting on herself. She's the attorney. This is the attorney. Let me tell you. She was fucking Suge. She was fucking Timmy Rue, right? Living with Timmy Rue. He had her come up there and visit his celly, and they got caught fucking in the visitor room in Mule Creek. There's some content for you. I'm just trying to show you. So that's why I don't like Terry Bingle.
There go the article right there that she said she didn't see. So look, boom. So the article says, huge default falls on rap mogul like cold rain. Column by Gary Abrams. Rapper Daz Dillinger has won a $25.5 million default judgment against perpetually embattled rap mogul Marion Suge Knight and Death Row Records in Los Angeles Superior Court. Now watch this.
In November, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department conducted raids on Death Row's Beverly Hills offices and on Knight's homes, including one in Malibu. The raids were part of an investigation into gang killings, including the shooting on April 3rd of Knight's friend, Death Row employee Alton McDonald. The latter date is important in the Dillinger case because McDonald died just one day after he and others from Death Row met with Baker's firm about retaining Baker. Death Row's in-house attorney, Teresa Bingham, said in a declaration. Death Row didn't retain Baker then, she said in the declaration. Besides McDonald, those attending the meeting included Knight and Bingham. In her declaration, Bingham states that after McDonald's death, there was a great deal of concern, both personally and at Death Row, aka the Row, that individuals associated with Mr. Knight were at risk. Bingham also said that she left working directly with Knight last summer. The primary reason was an underlying fear that other individuals may be at risk simply for being in the presence of Mr. Knight, Bingham said in the declaration.
I'm going to ask Suge, next time Suge called, I'm going to ask him about that lawyer. So there goes the article right there. And Teresa Bingham, Reggie lies so much. But Teresa Bingham made it clear that that was the day before Montreal got BIP, right? Veggie was lying. Oh no, that has nothing. She don't know shit. He tried to put her down, talking about she getting fucked in the ass in Mill Creek by Timmy Rule. So what, nigga? You should be happy if a bitch is going up there giving a homie some pussy, nigga. Hating ass, nigga. He always worried about what somebody else's dick is being at. Nigga, that nigga's sexual preferences is in question at this point. Nigga, why you always worried about where somebody else putting their dick at, nigga? What kind of nigga is you? You know what I'm saying? Always got another nigga name in their mouth for who they fucking weird ass shit. But anyway, Teresa Bingham, you thought that wasn't nowhere. You signed a declaration. That's why I get it now. Why she didn't know that it was on the internet, because the newspaper article had found the declaration and statement saying that they fear for their life. This was the day before Montreal and any associates or anybody closer to Suge. They weren't talking about and worried about no gangbangers. You don't go to no motherfucking lawyer's office about some gangbangers. They going after the lawyer's office to sue Reggie Wright for stealing money, for making a fake account that said Simon Says Publishing, and also opening a bank account that said Death Row, funneling the money out of the original Death Row accounts and into his own, getting checks and royalties and payments for that, licensing out Tupac verses to E1, and which was Koch Records at the time, without paying Suge Knight. He was up against it. Veggie Wrong, David Kenner, Jimmy Iovine, the JDL, and the rest of these crooked pigs, Big Reggie and Little Reggie. With that, man, we finna go today. That's CS2 Backs, big homie. That's who brought Wack100 to Death Row, planting him here before Suge got back out, so it'll appear like it was something normal. All alone, that nigga was working. Suge was up against it. I know everybody in hindsight to talk about what they could have did, would have did, should have did. You don't know what the fuck you would do in that position. Imagine being worth $200-300 million, and the closest people to you, law enforcement, and the powers that be that control the machine to make you continue to make music off of the money off of the music, and everybody turned against you. Andre Young, Snoop Dogg, Das, Veggie, Kenner. It's nasty work, bro. But salute. It's been another episode of the Voice of the West Coast, the voice of the culture, Damu and Kiwe Conversations. Stoop, stoop, whoop. We out.